This is a t-shirt. The problem they had was like, I don't know if they knew the tag team was coming to an end. I don't know. I've only had it signed by Eddie Ryan, by the way. Eddie Ryan, right there. I don't know if they were coming to an end, but they didn't have reprints of the t-shirts or anything. I can now wear this t-shirt. When I bought this t-shirt, it was too small for me. It is now big enough that, oh, I'm small enough that I can wear it. But I can't because it's got a signature on it, so... There's that. Then there's this one that I showed. This was from... Does it not have a date on it? No, it doesn't have a date on it. Wait a minute. Let me get my website up and see if I can, So what is this? Pride and Glory. Pride and Glory. Tyson Reeves, not that one. Shelton Benjamin. This is from May 2016. So, it's signed by everyone. As I said earlier, this guy here, Ultimate Tiger, is from... Well, his family are kind of from Scotland, but him and his brother tend to, like, I think they've lived down in the West Country for a while. But, he was one of my favourite wrestlers. This is Vixen. She was really lovely to me. She was always really, really kind. Eddie Ryan, the Pride of Plymouth. Then you've got, Shelton Benjamin, who's a WWE wrestler now, currently. And you've got Carlito, who used to be. That is... I've got a name. Kotaro Suzuki. Who would the top one be? Maybe he didn't come. Lomax. Yeah. Oh, Ultimate. It's Ultimate Dragon. Of course, it's Ultimate fucking Dragon. Jesus fucking Christ. Got rid of the clothes I had before getting fat. After losing the fat, I had no clothes left. I've been fat for a while, unfortunately, so I didn't have any clothes when I started losing weight. This was my first actual signed picture of Eddie Ryan. Look at babyface Eddie Ryan. But yeah, that's that. And then this is actually from his teammate, Jason LaRusso. And this was from a Christmas show, hence why it says Merry Xmas. I only ever saw him once. Lots of buff boys. Then this one is from the 10th of August 2016 when I met Justin Gabriel. I love Justin Gabriel. He's one of my favourite wrestlers of all time. This guy, this one here, Jason King, now owns a wrestling company in Plymouth. And this one here was also one of my favourite wrestlers. It is him, isn't it? Yeah, Mad Dog. He's a really lovely guy. He's an Exeter boy. And he comes from Bodmin, I think. He's from Cornwall, but I think he's from Bodmin. Just to prove it, I've got another exactly the same, but from a different time, Eddie Ryan. That's how much of a fan. Anytime I went to a show, I bought a headshot. I've got unsigned Ryan pictures there. This was like a promotional thing they did with Ultimate Tiger. So I got that because I loved Ultimate Tiger, and as I said earlier, I admit it, I had a crush on him, so of course I would have absolutely everything. What is this? Oh, it's got it on here. So this is from October. No, it doesn't say what year it is. This doesn't even have a name of what they was called. Swapping stories and listening to great music and dancing like no one's watching. And please, can someone please go to Starbucks and order me an iced grande white chocolate mocha with soy, please. Love will set you free. Love means never having to say you're sorry. I realized that I loved you more than everything. More than the sunrise. I thought the pain in my soul would never heal. But you made me feel. This was from 2016. October 2016. Mysterious Crush. It's not a Mysterious Crush. I think he even knew I had it. I met Scott Hall. The funny thing is, Ultimo Tiger was manning the table where you got like the piss, like you got this poster from the table and stuff. And I was so busy talking to him because I liked him, and I've never ever liked Scott Hall. So like Scott Hall was just stood there waiting for me to move, and I was just like there talking to Ultimo Tiger. Then I come up to him and he was like, "Oh, you took your time," and I was like, "I don't want to talk to you, mate. I'm not interested." But yeah, I met Scott Hall. We got Ultimo Tiger again up on the top there. That is Kelly Six, who is one of the greatest wrestlers in the UK. Who else have we got? She's just retired. That's my boy Bram. Love Bram. I don't know who the girls are, to be honest. That guy was hilarious. He played a big buff boy. He was called Mr. Huge? Mr. Large. Chuck Cyrus. And he used to pretend he was so buff that he couldn't get in the ring. That is WWE's former Adam Rose. He was terrifying. That guy there, Gideon. But he was great as a wrestler. This guy here is another West Country boy, Chris Andrews. Absolutely amazing. Once again, Eddie Ryan. And this is a UK legend, Doug Williams. So that was another. This one. Oh my god, this one. And this has everything on it. This is from 2016. This was when the Boogeyman was meant to come down to Plymouth. Not to Plymouth, to Taunton or Exeter. Exeter, it says it there. He didn't show up. So they had to change everything last minute. I can't even see who they are on there. There's so many people on that poster. But again, like, it's the main people, isn't it? It's like Chris Andrews, Ultimo Tiger. His brother ran the company. That's why he was always front and center. And Eddie Ryan on this side, Chris Andrews. This guy, what hand is it? Is this hand? This guy here is my niece's favorite wrestler, Josh Knott. He's now a cowboy. This guy here is absolutely fucking amazing. He's such a good talker. He's such a lovely man. This one here, the UK Dominator, was he retired very recently. That's the Boogeyman from WWE. The Boogeyman. He used to eat worms. Adam Pacitti. Now, none of you are going to know who he is except for Sean. Adam Pacitti was trained by this man to be a wrestler. That is like my claim to knowing Eddie Ryan. Not Eddie Ryan, to claim to knowing someone who knows Adam Pacitti. That's the guy that trained him to be a wrestler. When was Heroes and Legends?
got lost in you, and that kind of lost is exactly like being yeah, everything happens for a reason. There's
I
something
believe.
in my blood. With everything happens
No.
for a reason.
How many of these did I go to? This is from July 2016. Yeah. You might know someone this poster. Ignore Scotty 2 Hotty. Scotty 2 Hotty wasn't there. This was just as he got signed back to the WWE to be a trainer. We got Hornswoggle. I met Hornswoggle. I met Bob Holly. Justin Gabriel, again, up here, being amazing. Doug Williams again, because Doug Williams is amazing. And then this guy on this side. This one here in the pink. He was pretty much the guy that saved my life. Back when I started watching wrestling, or going to the wrestling shows. Like, wrestling in general saved my life back in, like, 2015, 2016. But this guy had no reason whatsoever to remember who I was, to care who I was. He always looked out for me. He was one of the nicest men in the world. And he got into, like, a stupid scandal. And, like, you're not allowed to like him and shit like that now. But I can't help it. The man saved my life. He's one of the nicest men I've ever met. And then down here, this guy here is Big Grizzly. And I like Big Grizzly, because Big Grizzly was big and Welsh and grizzly. If you can see that, he just looks like a big bear. He's a big Welsh bear. But yeah, another one. Was this the one? Did they have Mr. Anderson at this one? Scotty X6. No, he must not have been at that one. No. There's so much more. There's so many. Honestly, I've got posters coming out of. This is a nice poster. This is a nice poster. This was the one time I went to Penzance. It should be easy to find. How do you spell Penzance? Penzance. So this. Did Sammy actually come? I don't think Sammy actually got here in the end. No, he didn't. He didn't. This. This event. So what happened was this guy here, Sammy Callahan, this woman here, who I think she's called Jessica Havoc, and So Cool Val, were all going to come down to Penzance together. And their car broke down, so they didn't make it. So they had to redo the entire show on the fly. And no one liked the show. The show was quite bad. But I thought it was really good for, like, having to rework everything. Again, it's the same old people. You've got Lomax and Gideon, who were the House of Bones. You've got the Magnums, who were just stupid. I have had both of them grind their groins in me in some way, one way or the other, a couple times. I've had a lap dance from that one twice. I love them. But yeah. Ultimate Tiger, again. I got a lot, and most of these are from 2016 so far. Oh, I've got a story to tell about this one. Wait a minute. We'll just look for Bram. Where were we? We were in Teignmouth.
Love means never having to say you're sorry. I realized that I loved you.
Oh shit, he went to a lot.
Sunrise.
Obviously.
I thought the pain in my soul would
Here we go.
heal.
So this is from 2016 as well. This was, I went to
You made me feel
2 wrestling shows for my birthday that year in 2016. I went to one in Bristol that I couldn't stay for, and the next day I went to Teignmouth. And this guy here is Johnny Gargano. He's one of the biggest WWE superstars at the minute in NXT. He was a fucking dick to me. Everyone says he's the nicest man in the world, but he was a fucking dick. I absolutely hated him. I was having a mild panic attack. I was very upset. I had my hood up. All the normal wrestlers who knew me, they all were super lovely. He was taking the piss out of me. This guy up here, Bram, this was the first show I ever went to see Bram in. Everyone said Bram was the biggest dick you'll ever meet. He is apparently a dick. He threatened to punch him out because he was being a dick to me. And then he was really lovely to me and gave me a hug and told me everything would be okay. He was so nice. This guy here, who someone has drawn a Hitler moustache on, I'm pretty sure it was probably Johnny Sicko, probably, is another UK legend, Johnny Kidd. And I think that was the show that he had a fight with Scotty Essex, the guy that I was talking about that saved my life. It was one of the best matches I've ever seen. These posters are really cool. My niece used to have them all on her wall when she went with us. Oh my god, how am I going to find this? Because this isn't the poster for it. They didn't have a poster for the event. So they gave you a choice of old posters from when he come down before. So none of the people on this poster are really actually at the event, really. Look at this one. I only met him once. I think I only met him once. Yeah, I've only met him once. So this is from the end of 2016, or September in 2016. Some of them here, like, you've got babies here, look. That's baby Ultimate Tiger. And then this guy here is called Tyler Hawk. He's my niece's other favourite. But that's a baby picture of him. That's the guy, though. Raven. Anyone who watched wrestling in the 90s probably know him, either as Raven or as Marco Polo. Now, he was so sweet. My niece doesn't like Americans. My niece hates Americans. They're too loud for her. She gets scared when she hears Americans. Or she did back then. Like, she's 11 now. She was, what, 6? 5 or 6 back then? But she hates Americans. And, so we went up to get our photo with him. And she wouldn't go and get a photo with him. And he was like, you're not going anywhere until you get a photo with me. And she just wouldn't. She was so scared of him. He ended up getting up. This wrestler, and he looks worse than this. Like, this is kind of scary. He looks worse than this now. He got up off his table and chased her around until she gets topped so that he'd get a photo with her. And then when he come down to the ring and went around the ring, he saw us at ringside and come over and gave her a high five. And at the end of the show, we were stood talking in a group, and he come out, and he noticed her, and he made a beeline for her, and went down to her level, and was like, I hope now that you like me as a wrestler, and that we can be friends next time I come down. And she gave him a hug, and she loved it. And he didn't have to do that, but that was Raven. My niece was just scared of them. They were just loud. American wrestlers are loud. Oh, this is one of the first shows I ever went to. I think this was the first show I ever travelled to, maybe. Or maybe the second one. Wait a minute. Dream of Glory. Yeah, this was back in February 2016. So this is one of the first ones I travelled to. And I met my hero. I met Tommy Dreamer. Guys, I met Tommy Dreamer. That is Tommy Dreamer. And he is my hero. I love him. But, yeah, it was the first time I ever saw Scotty Essex, I think. Oh, no, I might have seen him before, because I saw him in Plymouth. You got Ultimate Tiger, and you got Robbie E, who's now in WWE as well, but this was when he was in Impact. Tommy Dreamer was an ECW original. He was in, I think, WCW and WWE. He still appears in WWE. He's not a great wrestler, but he was known for being just a normal person that people got behind because he was sweet. He's also extremely, well, he's not extremely overweight, but he's fat, and he doesn't care. He's just a normal guy. Look at all these wrestling things I've got. Ultimate Prize Fighters. Which one is this?
Love will set you free. Love means never having to say you're sorry. I realized that I loved you more than everything. More than the sunrise. I thought the pain in my soul would never heal.
Oh, I think this is March 2016. I think. Yeah, because it was meant to have Juventud Guerrero, but it didn't. But I think this was the first event I ever saw Kelly Six in. And, he was a replacement for Johnny Sickle, because Johnny Sickle went sick. It was the Ultimate Prize Fighters, which was actually a tournament. So, like, they, did tournament brackets, basically, which is pretty cool. He's got, Scotty Essex, known as Scott Wayne right now. He doesn't wrestle, I don't think, anymore. He does charity work and stuff. But as I said, he's just the nicest person I ever met. And then... the Rock and Rollers. I met Billy Gunn, badass Billy Gunn, and Tajiri, both former WWE wrestlers, and Rockstar Spud, who's been in it as Drake Maverick. Now, he was another one. He was a fucking dick. I met him twice that night, and he was a dick both times. That's an old picture of Chris Andrews, who's just lovely. My other favourites up there. My niece cried. She cried, and she cried, and she cried, and she cried, and she would not go near Billy Gunn. And Billy Gunn could not understand why she would not go near him, but she would not. She fucking hated him. She was terrified. At that point, Ultimate Tiger was a favourite, because Ultimate Tiger was the kind of wrestler that kids loved, because he was a masked wrestler and he was fun. He'd just been beaten by Scotty Essex. Amazingly, it was Scotty Essex that talked her around and was like, "Why are you crying? Don't cry. Why are you crying? There's no reason to cry. Here, do you want to hold my trophy?" Literally, this guy is just the nicest guy in the world. Honestly, was so sweet to her that she forgot that he was the bad guy that had upset her early in the night by beating her favourite, or one of her favourites, and she just loved him. She really loved him. And I wish I had the fucking photos of them together. It might be on my Facebook, actually. I might still have that on my Facebook. Oh, it's got Eddie Ryan down in the bottom as well. And Big Grizzly. And I've got a tiny little version of the big thing I had, which was also personally signed on the back. He wrote, "Hello Anne, thanks for the support. Why not tweet your new tee at Homo Tiger, thank you." It's because I couldn't make the event, I think, that my mum bought this back for me. And then I ended up having a go at him because he'd spelt my name wrong. What is this? Live in painting. Does this have Doug Williams as well? It's something I believe in my blood. With everything happens for a reason. Doug Williams. Keep on falling, keep on falling. I'm falling in love with you. Must be this one. And I keep on falling, keep falling, falling. Yeah. So this is still from 2016. These are all from 2016. That is James Storm. That used to be in WWE. Once again, I met Bram. He was... What's that? What's his name? Mahabali Shira. He was in TNA, but I wasn't watching TNA at the point, so I had no idea who he was. Kelly Six is scribbled over his face, so you can't see his face. There's some wrestlers up around the back. Adam Maxted. He became famous because he was on Love Island, but boy was he one of the best wrestlers in the world at one point. He worked really fucking hard to be more than just the man that went on Love Island. And then Doug Williams. Do I have stuff from when I'm younger? No, I only have that one picture that I showed yesterday, this one, or this morning. I can't remember any of those wrestlers' names. They were just like local guys. Never having to say you're sorry. As I said, that was from when I was like 8. I realized that I loved you more than the sunrise. I thought the pain in my soul would never heal. But you. I can't even remember going to this. Even born when that picture was taken. Wow. You're invested in hockey. Well, you're Canadian, that makes sense. Everything is just from 2016. Everything. There was no famous people in this one. It was headlined by Chuck Cyrus. Wait, it's got his nickname there. Mr. Massive, that's what he was called. Chuck Cyrus versus Eddie Ryan. It had Nadia Sapphire versus Casa G. Casa G is now called the Session Moth. Martina Session Moth something. Martine or something like that. She plays like a Vicky Pollard type character. All these people down the bottom. As you can tell, it's usually just the same people going to every show, to be honest. Prefer McLarge. I'm pretty sure he was actually called McLarge Huge by some of the wrestlers when they were like taking the piss out of him in storylines and stuff. I mean, that's from my local show. So all those were from Pride Promotions. This is from Plymouth Wrestling Association, which is no longer a wrestling show. This is from like 2018, I think. The guy in the corner is Grayson Reeves, who's another guy who runs the local wrestling company at the minute. That's not a signed poster. That is something I got in a box. Here's something from when I was younger. I went to TNA on my own in 2012 in London. And I met a bunch of people. Like, I met both of these. I haven't got a signature on there, Hulk Hogan, but I've got Kurt Angle's. Kurt Angle is my hero, one of my wrestling heroes. I know I said that about someone else, Tommy Dreamer, but I love Kurt Angle. And what happened was, they sped you along a table of wrestlers, and in the middle was Kurt Angle, and then it was meant to be Hulk Hogan. And Hulk Hogan didn't show up at first. When he finally got there, I was in like a little group of people, and the guy that was like in front of me was a huge Velvet Sky fan, and Velvet Sky was next to Hulk Hogan. So when he got his signature from Hulk Hogan, he wasn't paying attention to Hulk Hogan, and he then stayed and talked to Velvet Sky again for a bit, because we'd already been down the table. So Hulk Hogan, before he signed my book, literally stood up, combed his hair, and walked off. Now, I didn't want to be back in the line to see Hulk Hogan, because I didn't like him anyway, but it was worth it, because I looked at Kurt Angle with the most exasperated look on my face that I'd been made to come back and get this fucking signature, and he'd walked off from me. And Kurt Angle just looked at me and was like, not fucking worth it, and gave me a hug. And I was like, that was worth it, though. That was really fucking worth it. I don't know if he's wrestling anymore or not, but he was my favourite at the time because he was a big, ginger, pretty boy. I like gingers and I like pretty boys. Who else? I met Magnus Nick Aldis, who is married to Mickie James. He's Mickie James's wife. Mickie James's husband. He's the NWA champion at the minute. I met Madison Rayne, who's still in TNA, I believe. I'm not sure. Oh, I met Tara, who was called Victoria in WWE. She's fucking awesome. I met Velvet Sky as well, who's getting married to Bubba Ray Dudley. I met the Fallen Angel, the Fallen Angel Christopher Daniels, who currently works for Ring of Honor still, I think. Or he might have gone to AEW, I'm not sure. Frankie Kazarian. I'm pretty sure Frankie Kazarian is now in AEW. I don't know why I'm sure, but I'm pretty sure he is. But he was Ring of Honor. I never got to meet Alex Shelley. He is my absolute favourite. He's one of the most underrated wrestlers in the world. He wasn't at our meet and greet. He was at every other meet and greet, but he wasn't at the London one. That fucking killed me. I was so upset. And I met Earl Hebner. I wanted to meet his son. But Earl Hebner. Look at that. Earl Hebner. But that was 2012, when I went to London. Oh, and I met Dixie Carter. She's right at the beginning of the book. If you don't know anything about Dixie Carter, apparently she's related to one of Ant and Dec. I think it was Dec, I don't know. She come up in the news back along. Apparently she's related to one of them. That's not a signed poster, that's just a random... Oh no, it is signed on the back. All of these are from 2016. These aren't. These three I got out of a box. I spent money on these. These are all YouTubers. That is Sam Driver from Cultaholic. Their #1 editor. That is Jack the Jobber from Cultaholic. But this is all from when they were at What Culture. And this is my pride and joy. I've got Adam Pacitti signature. Look at that. Look at him. Look at him. This photo was just awful, but I got it. But they're my favorite, some of my favorite YouTubers, them three. So I've got their signatures. They don't do them at Cultaholic. Because this was all, there was a wrestling company, they did WCPW, What Culture Pro Wrestling, and they were all on-screen talents, so they got their headshots. Adam was the general manager. Oh my god, I never noticed that! I've got a script signed by Jack on the back of his thing. I never noticed. That's a script for one of his shows. I never saw that before. That's really fucking cool. I've got a script from him. Oh man. I met Kid Cash, who's another amazing wrestler that barely anyone's ever heard of. How have I ever seen? I've never really looked at the back of the photo, to be honest. They came in a box, all on top of each other, and to be fair, I looked at them, went, oh yeah, nice, I've got Jack, I've got Sam, oh my god, look, I've got Adam Pacitti, oh my god, Adam Pacitti, I love Adam Pacitti, and then they all went away. Yeah, Kid Cash. I don't want a fucking signature from him. Matt Riddle, who's a UFC fighter turned wrestler. He's in WWE now. He was a fucking dick. I didn't like him much either. I don't think you can read it, but he signed it. Thanks, babe. Oh, this was actually from like back in 2009, actually. When I went to Portsmouth. Like, none of them are famous wrestlers. None of the people I saw there was a famous wrestler. But I loved this guy, the UK kid. I actually went to that one to see Hurricane Helms, but he didn't show up. I was very, very upset because I liked Hurricane Helms. It was the only reason I went to Portsmouth. I met Cody Rhodes just after he left WWE. Cody Rhodes is the son of Dustin Rhodes, the American Dream, and the brother of... No, Dusty Rhodes is his dad, Dustin Rhodes is his brother, Goldust. But I met him before he was the owner of AEW, which is what he is now. And he's now the American Nightmare, but I met him. He was really lovely. In fact, they took my picture with him. And then I walked away and I got in line for Matt Riddle. And the photographer come over to me that was doing Cody Rhodes pictures and was like, yours is really, really blurry actually. I made a mistake when I was taking your picture. Do you mind, like, I'm going to ask Cody if he minds taking another picture with you. Would you mind coming back and having another picture? And I was like, if he's busy, I don't mind not having a picture with him. I don't really mind, as long as I've got my signature, I don't mind. And my friend had kind of snapped one on my phone. And he come and grabbed me out of the line and was like, don't be stupid, come and have your picture taken with me. So I got my professional picture taken with him. We're running out of wrestling things. The last couple aren't wrestling things. That is a wrestling thing. This is my favourite signature in the world. It's Bram. Again, it's the last time I saw Bram. And look at that. Look at that. He remembered my name. He knew my name. And he put a little heart on it. You used to hate Goldust. You had no valid reason, though. I think you were meant to hate them. But yeah.
Love.
Bram, put a little heart.
Love will set you free.
And then this was one of the last wrestling shows I went to. The sad thing with this one is I didn't get Jimmy Havoc's signature.
That I loved you more than everything.
Oh yeah, I've got the photo. It's on Facebook.
More than sunrise.
Jimmy Havoc had just come back. He was like concussed and stuff, and he wasn't meant to wrestle.
So will never heal.
You didn't miss Goldust. You missed Cody Rhodes. I met Cody Rhodes. Missed Cody.
You make me feel human.
His brother. I haven't met Goldust. But yeah, for me though, like, I didn't meet him, but I met this guy here. Where's my finger? There he is. Chris Brooks. I love Chris Brooks. My only interaction with Chris Brooks online was him liking the fact that I said I'd marry him. But yeah, that was down in Cornwall. Like 2 years ago? No, it would have been longer than that. The last wrestling show I went to was like the week I had my operation 2 years ago. And that was in Bodmin, and that wasn't this. So it might have been before that. But yeah, that's all the wrestling stuff I could find. Except for... Is it back here? I knew I found it the other day. Is it here?
Everything happens for a reason. It's something I believe in my blood. With everything happens for a reason. That also means love. And I keep on falling. Keep on falling. I'm falling.
No, I don't know where it is. I have a giant sign somewhere at the back of my room. It's like one of those ones, the banners you stick on the railings. It is fucking huge, and I've got that somewhere back there. I don't know where though, and I just hurt my neck moving it like that. That's back there somewhere. Huge. But these two aren't wrestling related. They're just the last two signatures I've got. My favourite doctor, Colin Baker, who I met. Really lovely man. He knew I was like super nervous. He could see that I was really, really sad. Like, I was so anxious about meeting him because he's one of my favourite actors. I love Doctor Who. He was my favourite Doctor. He spent 10 minutes talking to me. Then I walked off without a photo, and he chased after me to get a photo because he was like, "Don't be silly. You need to have a photo." Lovely, lovely man. And then the last one that I have, Chris Barry from Red Dwarf. Nope.
Love. Love will set you free.
Well, I didn't just do
Having to say you're sorry.
wrestling. I went to conventions as well. I just never had any money because I spent it at the wrestling.
That I loved you more than everything.
You've not seen Red Dwarf properly. I do have a Terry Pratchett signature, but I'd have to find what book that was in. My ex kind of destroyed most of them, so
You make me feel.
it's in my box, I believe. The last signature that Terry Pratchett. I'll find it for the next time we do Discworld. But yeah, that's it. That's all I could find, and they were all from 2016. I don't know where everything else went. I have loads. 2016 was the year that I went to like a ridiculous amount of wrestling shows, though. I did go to a lot of wrestling shows in 2016 compared to every other year. But yeah.
Best part of life.
Oh, it's not in that cupboard. That's got a load of shit in it. I probably threw a lot of them away, to be honest.
I got lost.
Like, when I went off wrestling, there was just no point in keeping them, was there?
Lost exactly like being found. Yeah, everything happens for a reason. It's something I believe in my blood.
No, I don't have any of my shit in there. I've been to NXT as well, look. I didn't get any signatures, but I went to NXT.
also means love.
They come to Plymouth. But getting in and out of the pavilions is a pain in the ass, so I never got anywhere close to meeting any of the wrestlers. And I think I've shown them before. Not that anyone cares about them. But this is the closest I've ever got to going to the MotoGP. In 2012, I bought the fucking tickets. Like, I have the tickets for the entire weekend, MotoGP. They cost me how much? Which ones are the tickets? That's the tickets. £101. These tickets cost £101 and I never fucking went.
This is the frisbee about 30 feet that away because the wind catches it and takes it far away. And I say, my bad, my bad. And he says,
You saw it at the Donington ones. That's cool.
the frisbee. I also like staying up late, swapping stories and listening to great music and dancing like no one's watching. And please, can someone please go to Starbucks and order me an ice run
But yeah,
white chocolate
that's everything I could find to show.
please.
And that's it. Because now we have been going for 7 hours.
Love.
Perfect use of money.
Love will set you free.
To be absolutely fair, and to be honest with you, I got very, very depressed and just couldn't go. I couldn't face it. I got very sick.
That I loved you more than everything.
It was sad.
More
Because I was meant to go with my, my best friend, Fiona.
I thought the pain
And she ended up trading in her ticket to just a Sunday ticket. We were going to camp and everything.